G'day legends, just on my lunch break, thought I'd do a bit of a market update on what's been going on for the last 4 days probably. So chuck a like up if you're a legend and you love that I'm getting on my lunch break and doing this for you. Alright, we'll get into it quickly. Let's see where the market's at. Alright, here is Bitcoin for the last 24 hours. As you can see, we actually went up to 106,749, so we'll say 750. And this is what our week looks like. It's been pretty boring as far as price action goes, but the news has been pretty bullish, coming out fairly constantly. Alright, get rid of that. Ethereum, it's moving back down. As I said last week, it would have been a nice time for profit taking if I owned Ethereum. That's what I would have done when it hit about 25. Excuse me, my work's sending through messages. Right, XRP sitting relatively flat, about 10 cent different for the day, and not much. 30 cents for the week. Solana, $10 down for the day, $20 down for the week. We'll go ADA. Everyone loves a bit of ADA. 5 cents down for the day, and a nice down for the week of 12 cents. Right, remembering that you can do this yourself. Jump on, download Crypto Bubbles. It is a free app, but I'm always happy to do it for you when you're part of the legendary Bogan family. Alright, what's been going on news wise? Well, actually, we'll skip the news. We'll go first to Fear and Greed Index for crypto. We're at 74, so we're in greed. I believe just the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is at 64, so it's a bit lower. So yeah, that's pretty high. If it heads up into extreme greed, might be worth looking at taking a little bit of profits. That's for me. I'm not telling you to do anything, of course. All right, Bitcoin dominance. Let's see where our dominance is at. All right, so we're at 63.9, so nearly 64%. Of course, that means that 64 roughly % of the whole crypto industry, 64% of the money is all in Bitcoin by itself. We can tell it's alt season when this drops down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin has to drop in value. It just means that there's money is flowing faster into the altcoins rather than into Bitcoin. To tell when alt season is, for me, I would personally be thinking there'd be about a 10% pullback is where I would start to go, yep, you know what, we're on here. So I'd be looking at, say if we're saying this is 64, if we round up, I would be looking at for about a 6.5% drop. So you'd be looking at about 57.5. I'd be starting to get excited for altcoins and assume that we've had a fair bit of money flow into them. What's the other one we've got? The RSI. It's a similar one that we can use. This shows us money flow. We're at 49, good number. It means we're right in the middle, basically above 70 is a good time for taking profits. Below 30 is a good time for selling. We're at 50, we're right in the middle, or 49. So yeah, nothing to worry about there. That doesn't really give us much indication either way. If you use 50 as your middle line, I suppose you could say we're slightly into buying territory. If you like to use 50 as your middle. It's hard to get out of this one. There it is. I'll flick to the very bottom. One of the news things this week was that the physicists at the Large Hadron Collider turned lead into gold by accident. It's pretty, you can read through that yourself, but I'll just give you the basis of it. Was they've been able to steal protons from lead, because lead has 3 more protons than gold, and they've just stolen them, and that turned lead into gold. Nothing to worry about if you're a gold person. I did do a short on this because it cost them about $200 to make, less than 1 cent, and I mean a lot less than 1 cent of gold. So that's it. If you like that one, it's called theconversation.com. But just type in, physicists turn lead into gold, and it'll give you some type of one. So I thought that was interesting. All right. So what else happened? So Binance made the news twice, as well as that one I just read. Yeah, Binance is now on the S&P 500, I believe. So that was super bullish news. That was fantastic. Then the very next day, Binance makes the new Coinbase. I've given you the wrong one there. Coinbase is on the S&P 500. So now you can buy it as part, if you're buying the S&P 500. If you're an older trader, you will be buying Coinbase without realizing. So for all of those older investors that have never been into crypto, they're going to start buying it by a little smidgen at a time by accident. The next day, Coinbase, we'll make sure I get the right word this time, they were hacked. They were hacked for data, and 1% of data was stolen or leaked. It was to do with their call centers overseas, or wherever they have that stuff. And essentially the people running it have either leaked it or lost it or stolen it themselves. And 1% of everyone's data that's on Coinbase was taken, and then it was ransomed or used as blackmail for $20 million. Coinbase came out and said they're not going to give the $20 million over, but they will give it as a reward to anyone that can give information that leads to the arrest of the hackers. So yeah, that was bad, but overall not a big scare or anything there. It's just another one of those, if you get emails from Coinbase and it says click here, or your account will get shut down and stuff, check into it. Probably don't do that. We'll check everything. Oh, I've lost my camera. Sorry about that. I still need a new phone, for anyone who's wondering. I haven't got one yet. This one is pretty terrible, and half of the screen doesn't work anymore because I have to turn it sideways. As you've noticed, I'm doing the video a different way, just because otherwise the camera doesn't work and I can't click things off. Anyway, so that is it. So there's been lots of bullish news. One little not so good news for Coinbase there. The trading stuff seems to be going fine from the US. That's about it. I did get questioned about whether I think we'll have another, whether we'll go up or down first. I think that because we've had so much bullish news and Bitcoin's just sitting pretty much level, it is fluctuating up and down, but it just keeps coming back to that same spot, about 103, 104,000. That I think, with all the bullish news, that I think it's overbought. It wants to go back down, probably retest the 100k level. I would think. This is all I'm just thinking in the human mind of, without going into doing any actual technical analysis. 100k is a big significant level. When we get there, what will the whales do? The whales might like to scare us. They might try and push us down. You know, where would they push? They're probably going to not stop at 99,000. They might push through to 89, the top of 90. Sorry, not 89, 99, down through to 98, maybe 97 k, and then, you know, I would expect a turnaround. That may not happen though. It may only come down to, you know, 100, 101. Depends on where the whales decide they want to stop bullying the rest of us. Yep, that's it. Make sure you do something nice for someone else today. Have a great day. Crypto Bogan out. Ooh.